Welcome back to the Available Post podcast, the podcast where I speak into the void and hope someone listens. I am your host, James Alexander Isaiah. Let's get wet and wild. I've enlisted the help of one of our benevolent overlords, ChatGPT, to get me some topics. The first of which is the impact of social media on mental health. Isn't that a fun topic? A good hard hitter for the first one. I think there's been nothing that could possibly have been worse for the human psyche than social fucking media. I don't think there is a single worse thing that's happened for the mental health of humans. It immediately, like, it's kind of wild because you can find the niche of people that all love the same things you love, and that is good. That is great. However, it also means that the people with really fucked up thing, like the crazy shit, like, hey man, I just really like, I don't know, fucking clever ways to steal candy from stores as a tame example. And then you can go online and you can find a whole community of people that are like, yeah, the best and easiest way to steal candy from stores is to do XYZ, right? And then you've got, you can go real deep and dark with it, right? But you can find a niche. You can find all possible niches on the internet. It doesn't stop, and it never will stop, right? And social media puts everything out to everyone, so it's almost, there's some anonymity, but you can get around that. By get around that, I mean people are silly and goofy and they post everything about themselves online, and you can link accounts together and like find who's said what even though their username isn't the same. So you're basically putting, it's essentially always high school all the time, right? The high school grade hasn't, or the class isn't like 150 people, it's hundreds of thousands of people, because you can post something that you might be proud of and fucking Jim Bob, literally half the world away, can call you an ugly sack of shit, or that your idea is really fucking stupid, dumbest thing in the world. And for some people, that'll hit them. That'll hit them real personal, real in their fucking soul. It also eliminates people like actually physically talking to each other sometimes. It facilitates people being able to stay in their room literally forever, and never making genuine, real connections with people. So I think it is overall a very negative effect that social media has on mental health. I think, but it can also like be the other way. So there are some people that can find great solace in it. There are some people that can find that it's just too much, but they also feel like they're trapped into like interacting with it, which isn't the case. You don't need to. But some people feel like they are, and I'm sure the younglings of today and tomorrow are also gonna feel very similarly to that, where they'll feel like they need to continue interacting online with other people and be online in some way, shape, or form. Those are the idea. That's the idea that media companies want to push forward as well. But yeah, an impact of social media on mental health, negative, generally negative. However, it is still, the internet itself is probably one of the greatest creations of humanity. Social media, though, kind of trash, kind of garbage. But let's no, it's just it's just garbage. It's just kind of trash. It's just kind of trash. It is extremely easy entertainment, though. That's kind of a benefit. You can you've got all the information you want and all the hot gossip at your fingertips. You can learn everything really quickly. You can also share with millions of people if that's what you want to do. For some people, it's a godsend. For some people, it's literal hell. It just depends. But I think overall, again, not great. The second, this actually ties into the first one. The second point that our benevolent overlord ChatGPT has given me is the rise of plant-based diets. I think this can be tied to social media, because there's this all this hoopla about meat being bad and how poorly the animals are treated, which, I mean, meat being bad might not be fully correct, but animals are treated pretty fucking horrendously. There's also incredible, like hugely gigantic waste in the meat production sphere of existence. Apparently there's also a lot of like greenhouse gases that are made, and that's one of the stances a lot of the people take, the people that like scream and shout that nobody should be eating meat. I think they're a little over the line. I myself was vegetarian for a year. I went back for uh, basically monetary circumstances, but that's beyond the that is neither here nor there. I would absolutely go back. I did it because I worked at a grocery store and I saw literally packs and packs and packs and packs and packs and packs of meat just get fucking thrown out. And those are living creatures that did die for basically nothing because we deemed them to have to die for our luxury, basically. It's fucked up. We the whole meat system is essentially us playing God in like making things mate and reproduce just so we have the option to consume them. Pretty fucking crazy when you really think about it. But then there's also those other people. There's a bunch of people that go around and they like stand in front of trucks and they're like, "Hey, don't transport these animals because you're gonna slaughter them. So we're gonna stand in front of your huge machines that can crush me. So you don't do it for a day or two or maybe a week, and we're really gonna fuck up your delivery system. Ooh, we're gonna get you." It's not the way to do it. How do you do it? I have no idea, but that I don't think is a winning strategy. What you've got to do is you've got to figure out like an actual solution, like something like fucking 3D printing meat. That'd be pretty cool. That would fix it if you could mass produce that with less carbon footprint. Some of them probably don't even care about the carbon footprint. Some of them probably just literally say, "Hey, that's a life. You shouldn't kill that thing because that's bad. Because we don't need to anymore." Technically, sure, that's true. But we also don't need fucking smartphones. But we mine the guts of the earth to make them anyway. So we can't really be throwing this need word around too often, right? There's a lot of shit that humans do that we don't fucking need. We do it anyway because we can. So there will always be meat. There's always going to be meat until some catastrophe, and I mean that in like the most significant way possible. Some fucking catastrophe happens that makes it so we can't have meat. Because if we can, we will. Easy. Done. Finished. Open, closed. If we can, we fucking will. That's basically for everything humans have ever done. If we can, we will. If we can do it, somebody will do it. And the world doesn't stop you. You can go outside, you can eat dirt. You can go outside and start fucking licking the sidewalk. The world will never stop you. You have free will. That's what it means. Now, there are some people who believe that everything's determined, that you don't actually have free will, and all actions are already set out in fate. Or we are chemically fuck the word. Fuck it. That word sucks dick. Predisposed. There we go. We're chemically predisposed to do the next thing that we're going to do. So, like, based on the chemistry in our brains, we don't actually have free will. We're just programs, very sophisticated ones, that'll do what it thinks it should do next. And in that way, we are predetermined. And so nothing is like random, and there is no free will. I think all of that I personally think it's garbage. I think we've got free will. I think we can choose to do whatever we want. We impress. No, fuck off. We make our own rules, right? There are rules of nature where, like, if we keep eating dirt, we'll eventually get a virus and that'll fucking kill us dead, or some kind of sickness, right? Like, there are rules of nature that basically say, no, you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that shit. That's fucking silly. But there's also laws, right, that are imposed by us on us. We make the laws, and when we break the laws, then we punish ourselves. That's not the world. That's us. But there's also, like, if you jump off of a high place and you hit the ground, then that sudden stop of kinetic energy will hurt you. That's physics. That's the laws of nature, right? If you eat raw eggs, you're gonna get fucking salmonella, or if you eat raw chicken, you'll get salmonella. That's not a human written law. That's just gonna fucking happen, right? So there's a difference there. Where did we get? Oh yeah, the topic was the rise of plant-based diets. I think it's mostly because we have greater access to many different vegetables and plants and stuff. Like, for the same reason we can get whatever fucking meat we want, we can get whatever plants we want, right? It's because of the overabundance of options. It's because of the ability for humans to have whatever they want, whenever they want, in privileged countries, that these diets can even exist. Now, there are peoples who only grow vegetables and only eat those vegetables and don't worry about livestock, or they worry about livestock because they want their wool or something else that they produce, right? There are entire communities, places in the world that are just vegetarian because it's just easiest, or it's what they've always done. But here in the West, the rise of plant-based diets is a mixture of abundance of vegetables and kinds of vegetables, and some moral stigma against meat. Now, there are some vegetarians that couldn't give a fuck about the meat system, and they've just been they grew up as a vegetarian, and they have continued to be a vegetarian for their whole life. There are some people that just don't like meat. There are some people that can't eat meat for whatever reason, right? But the rise in plant-based diets definitely stems from social media and anti-meat. I want to say propaganda, but that's not really correct. That's not the right word. Movement also isn't the right word, but it is definitely a playing on the morals kind of situation. Like, hey, meat's bad, meat's murder, can't do that. Eat veggies. But that it wouldn't exist without the infrastructure of constant supply of vegetables that we already have, which is similar to the constant supply of meat we have. I don't know about the environmental impact of either, but this wouldn't exist without the overabundance. Yeah, yeah. So it's social media, I think. Yep. There's that point down now. There we go. Point number 3 is the art of storytelling. Now, this is where we're going to turn away from the machinations of the human mind and social media and my rambling about fucking dog shit. Ooh, that was loud. I have a timer because I wanted to set 10 minutes per topic, but you'll notice I only got 5 minutes through the first one. The art of storytelling. This is really cool because the art of storytelling starts thousands of years ago. It's how the first stories were made, were given, was orally, right? That's how prehistoric just means before recordable or record things that were literally put down on paper. Before then, the stories, the mythos, the gods, all of that shit, explanations for how and why things happened were told verbally, right? And now today it's a very widely and meticulously studied topic where there's always there's this hero's journey where, here we go, hold on. The hero's journey, right? It goes from a call to adventure. I'm literally reading off the wheel, right? It's a call to adventure, and then there's some kind of threshold. There's the known area and the unknown, right? Where they start their journey, in their home, where they know what's going on, and then they move, right? They change. There's a call to adventure. There's something they must do, and then they are chosen, and they go on this adventure, and then they hit this area where they leave their home. They're gone, right? And then there is challenges, and sometimes they have some kind of guardian or helper or something. Usually I'd say it's like a supernatural aid, so like their god talks to them, or they get some kind of fey item or creature to help them, or so many other things. Sometimes it's a fucking wizard that comes by and goes, "Hey, yo, it's you." And then they go on this big journey to go complete this thing, and then eventually they get there. They get to the revelation where they learn, hey, actually, I'm just one part of many, or now I'm the king, or awesome, I've made it, the big bad is dead. Or they find out that they've been fucking bamboozled the whole time, and there's a big twist, and that they're actually the evil one. Ooh. And then they go into the downward part where it's like, okay, we're going back. There's some kind of it's labeled as atonement here, but I don't know if that's always the case. And then they return home, and then that's what it's done, right? Her hero's journey, big fucking circle. I don't like this circle. This circle says call to adventure, supernatural aid, threshold. begins, then transformation, challenges and temptations, abyss, death and rebirth, transformation, atonement, return. It says gift of the goddess. Maybe this is specific to Greek mythology, which great stories, fantastic stories. World Naval? What the fuck? Yeah, storytelling. The art of storytelling. There are many storytellers have existed in this world and done magnificent things. Examples, I will say the obvious one for me is Tolkien. Fantastic storyteller. Some people don't think so because he likes to give names to ancestors of his characters. He likes building that world of his. Another great one is Terry Pratchett. He is a fucking amazing storyteller. Fantastic. Never heard of Discworld? Go fucking check it out. That shit is chef's kiss fantastic. There is truly an art to telling stories. Neil Gaiman, also great author. All great storytellers. All great authors are great storytellers, I think. Personally, I almost think that you can't be a great author without being a great storyteller. Even those who write like biographies and autobiographies very well need to tell the story well. You got to be a good storyteller to be a good author. I think that's just how it works. Now, that doesn't mean they're good at telling verbal stories, because verbal stories need to be tellable in short form, right? They need to be like no more than an hour and a half, if that, right? Whereas books take a long fucking time, right? So you've got to condense stories down. There's also an art to that, where you take a really big, long story and you condense it into one little tiny thing, right? A short story would be perfect, right? A short story is basically what all storytelling was at one point in time. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody going like, "Ho, can you tell me part 3 of how King Gilbygoop slayed the dragon?" It's just the one story of how King Gilbygoop slayed the dragon. It's just one. You don't have parts 1, 2, and 3 in a verbal story. That's fucking crazy. I'd laugh at the storyteller. I'd be like, "What the fuck do you mean? Like, I wasn't here last night, so now I don't get to see, like, I don't get to hear the first part of the story? Are you high out of your mind?" So right, like it's crazy. You've got to sit there one time, one story, one sitting, easy. And there's an art to that. And it's been transfixed in the human mind over thousands and thousands of years. It's been set there. It's been put there forever and always. That's what's happened. Because that's how we've learned. That's how we learned about morals and what humans would like to have happen and not have happen, right? Which is basically what a moral is. It's essentially like, hey, we don't like it when we kill each other for no reason, because that lessens our chance of survival. So we should probably, not do that. We should probably keep the killing and the stealing a little lower on the priority list, right? Unless, of course, it's another group of humans. Those other group of humans, they can get fucked, right? They fuck them. We don't like them because they're different. Which is basically, or fucking Jimmy from Tribe D, he came over and he stole our fish. So now we got to go over to Tribe D and fucking beat their men to death with sticks and rocks because Jimmy, he stole our fish. That also kind of happens. Kind of why war happens. That's also ingrained in our brain. That's also part of the human condition, wanting other humans dead because they did shit to us. It's sort of fucked up. It's kind of fucking wild. You can tell this is structured, right? Back to the art of storytelling. My favorite kinds of stories are mythology. Mythology stories are always fantastic. Why? Because they are short, but they are also connected. See, you can have short stories, but they're all connected. It's like the OG MCU, right? Mythology stories are great because you can always, they have recurring characters, which are the gods, basically. And through that, you can kind of get like a personality of the gods. You can also see how different peoples would describe different phenomena. Like it's crazy in the story of in Norse mythology, the story of when the net was created and why salmon are long and why earthquakes exist are all found in the same fucking story. The invention of the net, why salmon have long tail, like are longer than other fish, and earthquakes all come from when they had to, Loki did something fucked up. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay, so Loki, I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna condense the story for you. So Balder, the Beautiful, everybody loved him, and he had dreams of the future. But one day he dreamed that he was gonna fucking die, and he told his mother this, and his mother went, no, I can't have that. So she went to all the things in the world and got them to swear that they would not hurt him. Straight up. So she just went to everything and went, hey, could you not hurt my son? Because everybody loves my son, and I love my son, and I want you to not hurt my son. So then everything went, sure, okay, yeah, we love Balder. Yeah, we can, he doesn't have to, we won't hurt him. Sure, you got our word. And so she comes back after this quest, and she's like, haha, son, you don't need to worry. Because I talked to everything except for, mistletoe, or it was holly or something. It was some prickly little bush. I think it might have been holly. And they're like, oh, I talked to everything except for holly, and it's great. Like, nothing is gonna hurt you. I had them all swear to it, right? But Loki, the conniving little fuck, obviously jealous of Balder and all the attention that he always got, and is now getting even more of, because it went from Balder's gonna die to Balder's not gonna die. That's fine. It's okay, because nothing's gonna hurt him, because his mother went and talked to everything. So he found out that holly, or it was mistletoe, it was something, that was the only thing that they didn't even talk to or said no or something like that. And Balder had a blind brother, Hod, who was kind of left out of the party. So they had a big fucking exciting party where they would literally start throwing things at Balder. They'd start throwing axes, and they'd start throwing spears and rocks and benches and all this crazy shit. And they would either bounce off of him, doing no harm, or right before they'd hit him, they would like turn away and slam into the ground or the wall or a table or somebody else. Fuck it. But anything but Balder. So he was marked as invincible. until Loki found Hod. Hod, who didn't really know what was going on because nobody really explained it to him, and he couldn't see because he was blind. He was like, man, I kind of wish I could join in this revelry. Like, it seems like my brother's invincible now or something. Like, everything's bouncing off him. I wish I could help. And Loki going like, oh, well, buddy, you can help. If you take this dart, which was made of the one thing that could hurt Balder, and throw it at him, everybody would laugh and love it. It would be fantastic. So Hod goes over and he's like, haha, I can try. And he throws the dart. It hits Balder right in the neck and he fucking dies. Dead as a fucking doornail. And because in the world of the Norse, betraying one's brother is like the worst fucking thing you can goddamn well do. Literally the fucking worst. They kill they kill Hod. They kill Hod because he killed Balder. So Hod's dead now too. But then they figure out, after killing Hod, that Loki was the one that orchestrated the whole thing. But it's not before this happens. The mother, I think it's Freya, goes to Hel, Hel. Oh no, who is the daughter of Loki, who is also the ruler of the Norse afterlife, goes to Hel and says, please let my son back. Everybody loves him so much, and we would really like him back. And Hel goes, get fucked, bitch, no. She's like, oh, please, 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 please. And then Hel's like, okay, all right, cool. If you can prove that every living creature weeps at the death of at the death of Balder, then I will let him back. And so she goes to every living thing and says, do you weep for my son? And everything goes, yes, we weep for your son. Except for one crotchety old hag in a cave who says, fuck Balder, that pompous fuck. He's a sack of shit I'm fucking glad he's dead. Surprise, surprise, that was Loki in disguise. But they didn't know that, and they went back and they reported to Hel, and they were like, and Hel was like, get fucked, loser. There was one person. I said everybody. So Balder stays in Hel, or in the afterlife, or dead. It might have been somebody else other than the mother that went to go talk to them about this, and the weeping and all that. But somebody went to try and get Balder out of the afterlife, bring him back to life. Hel goes, no. Gives them the task. The task is failed, and Hel goes, get fucked, idiot. It was 100% requirement. So then they figure out that it's Loki, and Loki goes, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So he runs. He fucking runs. But he was also in the middle of making a net. I think it was like to catch other people, but they burst in the door and they were like, he was making a net. Or somebody made a net to catch him because they realized he turned into a fish and jumped into the river. He started swimming away, but Thor grabbed him, and he swam so hard that it stretched the length of the salmon, which is what he turned into. And thus, because they're gods, the salmon decided, that's a better design, and became that long as well. Thus, I think, that's it. They found him, he transformed into a fish, jumped into the river. Somebody, one of the gods, designed a fucking fishing net, and then they hauled it across the river, and as Loki was jumping out of the water, Thor grabbed him. He wriggled and writhed real good, stretched himself out, and then Thor lost his grip. Oh no, Thor didn't lose his grip. No, he caught the motherfucker. And then what they did is they brought Loki underground. They turned two of his children, his not beastly children, because Loki's got a lot of children. He's the mother of a horse. You heard that right. The father of Fenrir, which is an ever-growing wolf. Hel, who we've talked about earlier, and Jormungandr, which is the world serpent, the giant snake that circles the whole world. Two really big things spawn. Oh, right, Sleipnir, Odin's horse, is Loki's child. That's a different story though. And then he has two Aesir, I guess you could call them, children. They turn them into wolves. They are then slain, and their entrails are used to bind Loki to a rock. Above Loki is suspended a venomous snake that drips poison onto his head constantly. Chinese water torture style, but his wife, even knowing Loki's shitty behavior, can't stand to see her husband in agony. So she sits there with a bowl and it fills with the venom, and then she spills it out. But as she's spilling it out, little tiny bits of this venom still drip onto his head, and this venom for some reason is like skin contact like acid, and it causes Loki pain. And so when Loki feels that pain, he wriggles and writhes in his bonds, again made of his child's intestines. And that's why earthquakes happen. This took a dive, didn't it? This took a whoop. That's the story of why earthquakes happen. And also there's nets, and also salmon are long. There you go. I think it took less time than the version I had heard. But yeah, that's one of the stories. Those are all the main bits of the story anyway. Definitely longer versions. Should we go to the next topic? I had 6, but I think I'm only going to go with 4. And I think we're going to go with the no. I don't know which one we want to go for. How about I'm going to ask ChatGPT. This is what I'm going to give him. Quick! Exclamation point. I need 1 in capitals. More topic for this magnificent. I spelled that totally correct. I did it. I didn't. Podcast. Oh, that's not a P. Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, podcast? Yes. Yep. What? Exclamation mark, question mark. Will it be? Question mark. Oh my god, it's giving me a pop-up saying, thanks for trying ChatGPT. Do I have to fucking sign in? Do I have to give these gremlins money to keep going? Remind me later. Fuck off. How about the art of mindfulness and its impact on daily life? I'm going to respond with no. How about the influence of technology on modern relationships? Ooh, that's a topic I know nothing about. The power of music therapy. Okay. Let's go with music in general. Yeah. I think music is absolutely therapeutic. So I've already gone with this topic immediately. Cool. Good job, brain. Music can absolutely be therapeutic. It can invoke many different emotions in the human mind and body. It does so many different, like, you can evoke everything and anything. Passion, hatred, anger, sadness, love, joy, excitement. You can make things whimsical. You can make things gritty. Music is fucking magic. And I deeply feel for people that are deaf and people that are going deaf, because music is fucking awesome. Honestly, more so for the people that are going deaf because they've been able to experience music and then they can never experience music ever again. Unless we find some kind of crazy thing that lets them hear music again. But I mean, they are kind of getting that. Like hearing aids and stuff work. They're figuring it out. Science is a pretty magical thing itself as well. It's pretty wild, pretty fantastic even. But music, um, it is one of my favorite things in the world, even though I don't listen to that much all that often. Um, I definitely enjoy my fair bit of music. I actually enjoy almost all kinds of music. I've tried creating music myself. I don't think I'm very good at it. Not very good at all. I've tried playing an instrument, but I couldn't get into it enough to keep with it. But I think that's more to do with myself and not instruments and their use. Um, yeah. I think everything is made better with music, and I think music can absolutely be used to calm your nerves, to uplift in certain circumstances, to provide motivation. There's a lot of motivational music. There's a lot of nostalgic music too. Like recently, my brain got obsessed with a song. If you frequent YouTube Shorts, there was a little animation that was going around about a song called 2 Days into College, and that kind of made me feel nostalgic for my time in university and college because it kind of fits. It kind of makes sense, and I'm sure there's 100 trillion million different songs that do the same thing and have the same theme. But that's the one that my brain found, or I found, and my brain latched onto. Um, and about there being a million trillion different things, there's a finite number of ways one can put notes together. There's a finite number of frequencies that the human ear can hear, right? Um, but it feels like there are infinite combinations. There isn't technically, but some combinations sound like shit. Some combinations sound really, really good. Um, and there is also a lot of mixing and matching and just straight up fucking theft. Like apparently, the Beatles took for their song Because they took a Mozart piece and played it backwards. I can't remember which one it was, but like they did that, which is a genius move, really. Like remixing and redoing is basically, I want to say, a lot of music. I was going to say the most, like majority, but I don't think that's correct. But there's like very clear inspirations for many artists. And there are straight up just like, hey, that sounds really cool, so I'm going to take it. Like Ice Ice Baby and Under Pressure are the backtrack, I think is what it's called, fucking literally identical. It's the same shit. It's the exact same thing. They just fucking took it. They just went, that sounds nice. We'll take that. Apparently Can't Touch This did the same thing. Then there's also straight up well, there's like parodies like Weird Al. But he's fantastic. Weird Al's great because parodies are fine. Parodies are like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is what's up. I'm gonna make a joke version of your song. That's just gonna happen now. They don't even need permission, but Weird Al always got permission. And he actually made a joke about Prince never giving him permission in one of his songs. I can't remember which song it was though. But Prince famously rejected allowing Weird Al to do any of his songs, and so Weird Al has never done a Prince song because Prince just said no. Prince just went, nope, no parodies of my songs. And Weird Al's like, okie dokie. All right then. But then there are covers, which is literally the same song, but done in a different band's fashion, or not fashion, style. That's the word. Examples. Recently, was it the Fall Out Boys made a cover, but also like a redo of "We Didn't Start the Fire," that is more modern to 2024 or 2023 or whenever it was released. It mentions the Queen's death, so it's recent enough. And then there's also there's millions. Like there's fucking Hurt, originally done by Nine Inch Nails, covered by Johnny Cash. The Johnny Cash cover is fucking better. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the covers are just better. Not an example of this. Land of Confusion, originally by Genesis, covered by Disturbed. It's a good cover. I don't think it's better than the original, but it's a good cover. Those are the only ones that are popping into my brain right now. But the music industry is constant remixing and redoing and taking inspiration from oneself and others and mixing and matching. And I don't know where it's going. We've already hit the tech age. There's AI shit going on with the voices in that. AI voices can be fucking made, which is crazy as shit. There's this guy called Glorp. He does fucking SpongeBob. Is it Glorp? I can't remember, man. But he does great Glorb, maybe. He makes rap songs about the SpongeBob characters with the SpongeBob characters' voices, but they're very obviously AI voices. Like you can tell they're a robot, but they are just so fucking catchy, weirdly good. Weirdly good, crazy shit. There's you can recreate basically any instrument you want using technology now. One person can be an entire band, and you don't even need to really know how to fucking play an instrument. Now, learning how to play the instrument and playing it properly and well and becoming an expert at it is going to probably sound better than any electronically produced one ever. But with the right programs, anyone can make music, which is pretty fucking cool. Pretty nifty. You can do pretty much anything in this world if you have the tools. Or if you get the tools and you have the determination, the personal dedication to pursue it. You can do whatever the fuck you want within reason. You can make anything you want if you pursue it hard enough. That's a good message to leave off on, right? You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. But it kind of is true in certain circumstances. Artistically, anyway. Embrace your artistic self. Do something cool. Make something fun. Or don't. It's up to you. Thanks for listening. Or not listening. It's up to you. Bye-bye.